the 4 biggest customer service mistakes and how to avoid them. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify certain commonly made mistakes when it comes to customer service and what you can do differently. Although your customer service can either boost your company's image way ahead of the competition or utterly destroy your business, most companies don't spend nearly enough time focusing on how to improve their service. If you give your customers a terrible experience, they'll never come back. Even worse, they'll tell everybody they know, especially now that we all have a voice on the internet. It's actually not as challenging as you might think to provide excellent customer service that will make your customers love you. Just avoid making these 4 huge mistakes. Number 1, delegating customer service without training. Treating customers with empathy, patience, and respect may come easily for you, but it isn't necessarily the case for your new employees. Without clear guidelines on how to treat customers, you're leaving it up to the person's judgment, which may or may not be in line with your standards. Provide clear guidelines and processes for your employees. Train each staff member to deal with any real or hypothetical situation that could arise. Beyond procedures, give them tools and principles for making their own decisions. They have to temper their knowledge of procedure with your customer service principles and make their own judgment. Number 2, hiring the wrong people. There are some people who just aren't built to provide customer service. But anyone that you hire who has any contact whatsoever with the public needs to be able to interact with respect and concern for the customer's needs. This ability should be just as important in your hiring decisions as any hard skills or experience you want them to have. Paint a picture of the type of person you want working with your customers. Write interview questions that will test those qualities. Don't hire someone because they seem nice or they're probably okay with customers. Number 3, no human connection. Nothing makes customers angrier than calling a business and having to deal with navigating a robotic automated menu. While they're waiting for the canned yet pleasant female voice to read their options, they might just hang up and call somebody else. It's the best way to make sure that when they do eventually reach a human being, they're already angry. There should always be a human being at the other end of the line as quickly as possible. Make sure your service reps are there to answer questions and deal with problems, and set a time limit for answering calls. People will be surprised and pleased to hear a live human voice when they call. Number 4, the blame game. Even if there's been a disaster and it's not your fault, you need to take charge of fixing it. Blaming others shows a lack of responsibility. For example, don't blame another department within your company or some third party, even though it may be tempting because it takes the pressure off you. Instead, take the initiative. Don't be afraid to apologize for any inconveniences. When an angry customer calls, it's your duty to send them away happy and satisfied with their needs met. Too many companies only worry about customer service as damage control. They only think about it when there are problems. Instead, you should be proactive in making every transaction with a customer as positive as possible. Make it a point also to celebrate your successes, whether through identifying employees who have achieved a level of excellence or by posting customer testimonials. Activity. Look back through the mistakes listed in this chapter. Have you or your team members ever committed any of them? Make notes on the specifics of these situations. Now, outline how you would handle these situations differently next time. What do you need to change in your systems and processes to avoid these mistakes in the future?